Today we are joined by one of the titans of thrash metal. Chuck Billy from Testament is with us today. And man, he's got a lot going on. They've remastered their first two albums, The Legacy and The New Order. Those are coming out July 12th. So a couple days after you view this episode or listen to this episode, you can look for those remastered versions of the first two Testament albums. A tour is about to kick off. They're going out with Kreator and Possessed. Chuck shared a lot of historical stories with us. We heard some great stuff about Phil Campbell from Motorhead. And and the two of you haven't seen each other in a while, so it was kind of cool that you guys got to connect.
Yeah, you know, we're not close at all, for the record, but he's such a we have so much respect for each other, and of course, you know, I'm fairly close with Gene Hoglan, so the years he was with, you know, I'm sure that my name came up, and me and Gene talked about Testament a lot during his time with them, and yeah, Chuck's just been, over the years, he's just been fantastic, and we've been sort of in and out of each other's circles for a long time, but yeah, it was great to see him. He looks, you brought it up, he looks fantastic, and he's it's crushing it. He doesn't look 62 years old. He looks 42. And I mean, is that a difference? I don't know, it's quite a difference when you kind of think about it. It's quite a difference, but I don't know. I'm just so glad that Testament is, you know, a Bay Area legend. I would say they were a complete, if not a forefather, they were right there when all of that was budding and happening, because that scene, and you know how I get when we start talking about the Bay Area thrash scene, is
Yes.
all of the, and we brought that up with Phil Dimmel as well. That shit is so important to what happened in New York, what happened in Texas, what happened in Canada, what happened, you know, the new way of thinking about playing fast with precision, stop-start riffing, which is, you know, was called speed metal and then thrash metal, and then it broke the mold. So they were a big part of the movement. It's obvious. I'm not telling anybody anything new, but yeah, so good to see him and hear that they're celebrating the first, you know, the old school stuff and reissuing. And I think fans who weren't even around, who got the, you know, are finally going to hear it in the right way.
Yeah, exactly. Those albums, again, drop July 12th. That's the remastered version of The Legacy and The New Order. The North American tour kicks off September 12th. That's with Kreator and Possessed. They're going to do some European runs before the North American dates. And Chuck told us, because they are sort of celebrating those first two albums, the set list is going to weigh heavily on the early stuff. So that'll be a nice treat for all of you old school Testament fans. Yeah, and looking forward to that also, because Chuck, I mean, he brought it up actually, that he had that bout with cancer. I think everyone here is aware of that, but he looks fantastic. You and I have seen him in recent years. He sounds great. He still performs well on stage. So it's just great to see him in such good spirits and good health. And we were happy to have him today. He could only spend 30 minutes with us, but we crammed a lot of information in there.
Yeah, there wasn't any fucking around. So I think people are going to be excited about this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, happy to have him with us today. Chuck Billy on the Talk Louder podcast.